suggesting, he knows there's a problem. He knows he's got to do something about it. He talked about the devil and the angel, which is a really interesting way of conceptualizing an inner voice, right? The angel saying, look, it's going to be bad for you to keep doing this stuff. Why don't you go and spend some time with your mum or your dad or your cousins or whatnot? The devil is saying, hey. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel, Dr. Nick Analyzes. Today I am going to be reacting to a new artist and analysing a song that I've never heard of before. I'm going to be reacting to the song Lean With Me by the artist Juice WRLD. Now, these are blind reactions. I've never watched this video before. I don't know who Juice WRLD is. The reason why I chose this video is because a very good friend of mine, Therapist Reacts, Dr. Stuart Randall, he has done some Juice WRLD reactions, and they seem to be pretty popular. And popular reactions tend to be popular because there's some good stuff happening in the videos. And so I figure that I will come into this totally blind and do a reaction to one of Juice WRLD's songs. And so I hope you like what I go for.
God, grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. All right, so we'll get into the big book and the 12 steps a little later tonight, but I always love to hear everyone's stories. Why don't you talk tonight?
Drugs got me sweating, but the room getting colder. Looking at the devil and the angel on my shoulder. Will I die tonight? I don't know. Is it over? Looking for my next high. I'm looking for closure. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me. If you rock with me, smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me. If you rock with me, smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Told her if I die, I'ma die young. Every day I've been getting fucked up. Finally know the difference between love and drugs. Shorty tell me I should really sober up. This shit ain't fiction, it's too real, too real. Fuck one dose, I need two pills, two pills. I'm looking for trouble, so I know I'm gonna find it. Ring, ring, plug, hit my phone, perfect timing.
What's your emergency?
I think my girlfriend overdosed.
Is she breathing? What's your address? Hello?
No, she's not breathing.
What's your name and your address?
Flipping heck. What a start to the song, you know? I'm a bit speechless. You can see that I'm sort of like trying to make sense of it. That last bit there, my girlfriend had an overdose. I wonder how that made it into this song. And I wonder whether that is an experience that this fella had. Now, if that is an experience that this fella had, then it explains the self-destructive behaviour that I saw in the first 2 minutes of the video. You know, like when, in like theme parks and stuff, they have slides that just go round and round and round and they're spiraling, right? They're spiraling, they're getting quicker and they're spiraling. My experience of watching that 2 minutes was, this guy needs help. You know, like his reliance on drugs and alcohol and substances, it felt out of control. Do you know what I mean? There was an out of controlness to what I was seeing on the screen there that made me think this guy's spiraling. Do you know what I mean? Someone needs to help this this fella, and that's hard to see. I found it hard to see. Now, like, he's obviously acting in a video, but like, I wonder if he's acting in a video as a result of experiences that he's had. I wonder if he's been in that place where he's out of control. Do you know what I mean? He's spiraling out of control. Flipping heck. So like obviously he starts off in Alcoholics Anonymous. They're doing the serenity prayer. Grant me the wisdom to know the difference between the things I can control and the things that I can't control. Suggesting, you know, he knows there's a problem. He knows he's got to do something about it. He talked about the devil and the angel, which is a really interesting way of conceptualizing an inner voice, right? The angel saying, look, it's going to be bad for you to keep doing this stuff. Why don't you go and spend some time with your mum or your dad or your cousins or whatnot? The devil is saying, hey, why don't you have a drink? Why don't we go and do some drugs? That's fun. That's going to bring a buzz. That's going to help us forget. That's going to help us numb the pain. Let's go there. So there's always this inner dialogue that happens. That's a normal part of the human condition, right? We've all got that inner dialogue. We've all got that inner voice trying to push us in certain directions. That inner voice is often trying to protect us. It's trying to protect us from hurt or pain. But in trying to protect us from hurt or pain, it can make things worse. In this case, by saying, hey, why not numb the pain by doing drugs? It's going to make things worse in the long run, and it's going to contribute to this spiraling situation. The other thing that I noticed was the lyrics. He repeated the words "with me," do drugs with me, do this with me, do this with me, and it suggested, like, at least to me, maybe a loneliness. Maybe a need for support, a need for connection, a need for compassion and humans to be around him. You know, he could have written the song in a different way. It could have just been, I'm going to do drugs, I'm going to drink alcohol, I'm going to do this. It's like, no, do it with me. Like, you know, there's that need for sort of like social connection there as well. Like altogether, my experience of watching the first 2 minutes of that song was, I feel my heart is beating faster. Do you know what I mean? I feel impacted by seeing it. I feel like I want to jump through the screen and just grab his hand and say, come with me. Come with me. We need to go somewhere else. We need to get out of this situation somehow. And we need to spend some time out of it and try and really like come to terms with what's going on. All right, let's get back to it.
I know I'm not right, but I'm not wrong. No, I'm not wrong. Girl, you hate it when I'm too high, but that's where I belong, Lay with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me, smoke with me, drink with me, fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Lay with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me, fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Eyes red, no Visine, crash the Mustang, no saline. Yeah, I love peace, yeah, I love lean. I laugh when they ask if my piss clean. Smoke with me, pop with me. Gucci store, come and shop with me. If I overdose, bear, you gon' drop with me. I don't even wanna think about it right now. Let's get too high, reach a new high. Take the shrooms and
It's really hard to see this. He said, I don't want to think about this just now, or something like that, right? I don't want to think about it. What am I going to do to not think about it? I'm going to do drugs. I'm going to drink alcohol. I'm going to get high. Do you know what I mean? These are his ways of not thinking about it. This isn't like a curiosity, right? His drugs here isn't a curiosity and his substance stuff. This is a coping thing. This is, I need to not think these things and feel these things. I need something to help me with that. And that's where these substances are coming from. He said a line. He said, I know I'm not right, but I know I'm not wrong. Oh, that's a brilliant line, that is. Because he knows this isn't the right way to deal with this, but he also knows this is an understandable way to deal with this. This is because if he's feeling things that he feels he really can't feel, then doing this works. It helps him to not feel those things. So yeah, it's not wrong because it's helping him to not feel these things, but he knows it's not right because it's taking him down this path and making him spiral and stuff. It's a great line. And then did you see the hug that he was getting from that lady? It's almost like he's yearning for someone just to put their arms around him and protect him. Do you know what I mean? And give him warmth and give him love and give him, he's spiraling out. He just talked about crashing his Mustang. I assume he was over the limit when he did that. You know, he's engaging in these more harmful, dangerous, self-destructive behaviors. And then that flips to a video of him in a vulnerable position with a woman standing over him, giving him a hug, like him showing his vulnerability, her seeing his vulnerability, and her offering him support. Do you know what I mean? And it's almost like he's saying, I think this is the answer here. The answer is this. It is like this unconditional sense of support and love from fellow human beings. Maybe that's the way out of this like spiraling of really sort of like worrying behaviors.
Feels at the same time. Went to Hollywood, thrills from the street life. Took too many drugs, now I don't feel right. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys. Lean with me, pop with me, get high with me if you rock with me. Smoke with me, drink with me. Fucked up liver with some bad kidneys.
I feel like I'll need to watch the video again. I feel like there was like symbolism in there that I'm missing. Like you love some of the, you know, when he walked into the room and there was a girlfriend that was shrouded. Some of the masks that were on some of the characters in the face. I can't quite make sense of it all. But what I can tell you is a few things. One, I really liked the song. And I really liked his voice. And I really liked his delivery of it. I think he's super talented. But I think the thing that makes him special is how raw and real and authentic and vulnerable he is on publicly. It's a really sort of like hard thing to do. The video is hard to watch because it's a video of someone that stopped caring. And let me finish that sentence. That stopped caring whether they're alive or dead. You see this behavior in people when they're not bothered anymore. They've lost all sense of hope, and they'd be happy enough not to be around anymore. And like when you see people in that place, like it's so sad, right? That's the last thing we want, and we want to help them out of that somehow, even though, you know, we struggle with the how. Like, how do we help someone out of that? I think he gave a way forward with that hug that he had from that lady. You know, like connection and compassion and support are probably the things that he needs, because right now he's in a hole, and that hole is involving a lot of self-destructive behaviors that aren't going to be good for him in the long run. You know, he talked about like bad kidneys and stuff. Like, yeah, that's one outcome, but there's a bunch of other outcomes of engaging in this course of behavior. Man, I know nothing about this fella. He's obviously musically talented. He's got a lovely voice. Is catchy. He's charismatic in the way that he delivers stuff, and he's talking about real topics. I wonder whether this song is there as a form of catharsis, or whether this song is there as a form of making other people out there going through this not feel alone. Either of those, whichever of those it is, it doesn't really matter, because the output is a really sort of like meaningful, emotionally driven song. I'm definitely going to listen to more of his stuff. He's really cool. I really like him. All right, everyone. Thanks for watching this first ever blind reaction to Juice WRLD. I'm going to take a good look into this fella, I think, after this video. All right. Take care. Bye-bye. Did you hear any of that?
Yeah, I could hear quite a bit of it, but it sounds like to me that he's already accepted that he's not okay, and
Yeah.
that it's a place that he's just in right now.
Yeah, do you reckon?
And that's why he knows that it's okay for you, but he's not bothered. So it could be a good person or a bad person. He doesn't care. He just wants someone to be with him. Come with me.
Yeah.
You could be anybody. I don't care. I
Yeah.
have no prejudice over who you are.
Yeah.
I know that from a personal perspective.
Yeah.
I'm going through this.
Yeah.
And I just want
Yeah.
company.
Well, it's a weird one, isn't it? Because like, there's an acceptance of the fact that he's going through this, but not if he was fully accepting of his inner suffering, of his unwanted thoughts and his feelings, then he wouldn't need to get rid of them through doing those other dangerous things.
And he doesn't hate himself.
Do you know what I mean?
There's no self-law then.
Yeah.
From what I can understand.
No, there's no self-loathing, but he's like, I don't think he cares enough about being alive to self-loathe.
No.
I think he's checked out.
It's like
He's checked out of life.
The veil has been lifted.
Yeah.
And it's just,
Yeah.
so this is it. And
that's the hard thing about seeing that video, is like it feels like there's a human being there that does not care anymore. That human being, if like he was sat in his office and a man came in with a gun, I think that guy would just sit there and go on,
you may as well.
just do it, put me out of my misery. Do you know what I mean? It feels like, and that's hard to see. Like, it's not what you want to. It's not what you want to see. Hopefully, he's like describing a point in his past where that was the case, and now there's some other songs that will like bring him out of it or show him coming out of it or whatnot. Do you know what I mean? But good for him for like putting that sort of stuff out there. Do you know what I mean?
It's a form of therapy for himself.
Yeah.
The physical act of writing it down first.
Yeah.
It's almost like steps.
Yeah.
You write it down, and then you expose the nerve, and then you become a bit more comfortable with it, and then you write through it, and then you sing with it.
Yeah, it's like exposure. That's what they call it in therapy. They call it exposure therapy. Looking at the thing.
Yeah.
When it's hidden, it's hard to. It becomes a scary thing and hard to make sense of and stuff.
I always go back to like watching films, and there's one film that embodies that to the T. Have you ever seen Jeepers Creepers?
Yeah.
At the start of that film, starting off fantastic.
It's terrifying, isn't it? And then you see it.
And instantly I was just like, I'm done.
Yeah. The thing that was scary that you couldn't see became less scary when you could see
As
it.
soon as I saw it, I was just like,
Done.
So this film's over for me now because I've seen it.
Yeah.
And
I had the same experience with Jeepers Creepers, funny enough. Exactly the same experience.
I was like, this is starting off so good.
I use the example as well. So when I do workshops and stuff, I'll use that exact example. I'll say the things that we run away from when we look at them, they're less scary than what we think.
Yeah. I'll take on most things, but like a bump in the night,
Yeah.
my imagination.
Is it?
Oh,
Yeah.
I could be a ghostbuster. I'd be a first person out there. I'm afraid of a ghost. Actually, yeah, probably find I am. But go ahead.
Yeah.
Give me something I can touch.